This week on ANN, Adventist Mission sends emergency funds to Ukraine.
Thousands of young people love the forgotten during this year's Global Youth Day.
And more than 4,200 joined the Adventist Church in Central America.
These stories and more coming up. Thank you so much for joining us this week.
First in the news, Adventist Mission has sent emergency funds to Ukraine to help feed and shelter anxious crowds who have sought refuge in Seventh-day Adventist churches.
In response to an appeal from the Adventist Church in Ukraine, Adventist Mission sent $15,500 from its Hope in Crisis initiative to support Ukrainian churches this week.
Additional funds will be forthcoming, said Planning Director for Adventist Missions Jeff Scoggins, the mission arm of the Adventist World Church responsible for planting churches worldwide.
Since the armed conflict erupted on February 24, Adventist churches have been swamped with as many as 50 to 100 people arriving every night seeking food and shelter. More than 3 million people have fled the country so far, but many others have been unable to leave.
Adventist pastors have stayed in Ukraine to do whatever they can to help. Church members have been handing out food, providing refugees a place to stay, and offering rides from hotspots to safe places or to the border.
However, the Adventist Church in Ukraine has run low on funds, and church members who have been helping using their own means also face a similar predicament.
A Ukrainian senior church leader said that several churches have been destroyed.
The Seventh-day Adventist Church has 784 congregations in Ukraine and a membership of about 43,300, more than any other country on former Soviet soil.
We remain in Eastern Europe. We will now head to Romania to see the work that ADRA, the Adventist Development and Relief Agency, is doing.
Dear viewers, we apologize that our connection on Facebook Live didn't really work because as we tested it yesterday night at 2 a.m., it worked very well, but apparently it's snowing today and many more people today, and probably this is the reason, but we just want to tell you that God is doing a miracle here, touching so many hearts of the people. And they are providing help. They are praying for people. They are they're opening their houses. They're giving their food. And you may see here behind us a big ADRA booth. Michael, please tell us a little bit more. What do you see here? What ADRA is doing?
Well, ADRA is staffing this booth 24 hours a day. They've been here from the very start of the crisis.
Right.
They see refugees coming every minute, people stopping constantly. We've been hearing from our volunteers that they want to talk, they want to share their story. They want to share how they fled, how they have left families behind, the uncertainty of their future. They want hugs from the Romanian volunteers who just want to share something with them. And so not only are they giving food and water and blankets and all kinds of necessities, but they're giving emotional support, mental health support.
Right.
They're meeting the needs of the people as they need them.
And today I just learned a story, just terrible story. One of our volunteers, ADRA volunteers, she saw a woman who was sitting and crying with a small baby, small child. And she approached her and asked, and she shared the story that both of their parents died in bombarding. And she just took her granddaughter to take her out of the country, going like nowhere.
It's a terrible crisis. It's only getting worse. It's requiring the response of our entire global team at ADRA and at Hope Channel, this partnership that we have to be able to respond to these massive needs. It's going to last for a long time to come. ADRA will continue to meet those needs. We'll continue to partner to meet those needs.
And we want to ask you, please pray. That's the main thing you can do now. And if you want to learn more how you can support, please go to adra.org, the best organization I ever know to provide humanitarian help. If you want to support Hope Media Group Ukraine team, who actually called us last week and they asked us, please help us so that we can help others because there is big need. So we as Hope Channel International responded to that need together with other international. This is why we have this project, Hope for Ukraine. So if you want to help Hope Media Group team, please visit hopetv.org. But the best organization to provide help to all the Ukrainians, to all the country in this need is ADRA. Please join us as we work together as organizations, as a church.
Every donation you can give will change lives. Already 1 million people have left Ukraine, 100,000 more just in Romania alone. That's going to continue. They expect it to be one of the worst exoduses since the World War II of a vast amount of people fleeing conflict in their own country. So the crisis is overwhelming, and ADRA is meeting those needs. But you can help, you can pray, you can donate money at adra.org. You can work with hopetv.org to support their mission as well.
And the team who is actually
team in Ukraine
doing the great work there,
absolutely
helping other people. Thank you again. Sorry for not being able to provide a stream in the quality we expected. But
we're in the field. It's
But we are
live.
Yeah, this is live. We are just about 500 yards from the border, and for me personally, it's a very difficult experience because beyond this border, about 20 miles away, is the place where I grew up, and where I went to the school, where I served as pastor. And now I'm coming from USA, from Hope Channel International. It's difficult. I just can't imagine that the peaceful country, I can't enter it anymore. But this is not something what we should wonder, because Jesus mentioned that on the last days we will have more and more wars and rumors of wars, and people will be desperate of hope. And hope is coming. Hope is coming in second coming of Jesus. And that's our real mother home, where God will take us home, and we will be there without war, without pain, without suffer. Please pray for us, pray for Ukraine, and support the project Hope for Ukraine.
And stay tuned also, because we had a lot of wonderful experts and volunteers who spoke today. I know it didn't come through because of the logistical barriers, but we will find time to film these individually and try to share them. Probably not live because of the logistics, but we do want to share the expert experience of our staff, of our volunteers, of the refugees we're meeting.
And you will create more content. We will create more content. Please follow adra.org, hopetv.org. We want to inform you, and thank you again for your support and for your prayers.
Thank you.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
For the past 9 years, Global Youth Day, or GYD, has touched thousands of lives around the world for Christ, including the young people who participate. This year was no different. On March 19th, youth in every conference, union, and division of the Adventist World Church chose to be the sermon. Young people from more than 180 countries actively shared their GYD activities through Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, using the hashtags GYD22, Be the Sermon, Loving the Forgotten, and others. Together, they reached more than 30 million individuals by posting or sharing each other's Global Youth Day activities. This year's theme, Loving the Forgotten, was based on Matthew 25, verses 35 through 40. In that passage, Jesus commends his followers for serving him through feeding the hungry, welcoming strangers, clothing the naked, encouraging the sick, and visiting prisoners. Youth Director for the Seventh-day Adventist World Church, Gary Blanchard, said, "We focus on reaching individuals that are often overlooked. We challenge youth around the world to intentionally reach out in love to the prisoner, refugee, elderly, and missing members. What often happens is we focus on reaching the homeless, but we don't look perhaps a little wider at others around us in need of love. We wanted to expand our range of care. If you would like more information or resources, visit gcyouthministries.org.
It is now time to share some exciting news about Global Youth Day. In recognition of the humanitarian work carried out by the Adventist youth on Global Youth Day, the City Council of Araçoiaba, a municipality in the Brazilian state of Pernambuco, instituted the Municipal Young Adventist Day. The bill that was voted and approved was authored by Councilor Erison Silva Pereira. The date was incorporated into the official calendar of events in this city of northeastern Brazil. From now on, the Municipal Young Adventist Day will be celebrated every third Saturday of March and will feature events and social actions throughout the city. In recent years, Young Adventists have developed several social projects in the municipality, promoting the well-being of the population and seeking to fulfill their many needs. During the pandemic, young people volunteered to distribute masks, messages of hope, and encouragement and prayers. Through projects such as Caleb Mission and Life from Lives, the young people dedicated themselves to service. They built and renovated houses, donated basic food baskets and appliances, and participated in blood donation campaigns. The municipality of Araçoiaba has about 21,000 inhabitants and approximately 300 young Adventist volunteers.
We now continue with more news about young Adventists seeking to spread the love of Jesus.
1 week ahead of the Seventh-day Adventist Church's Global Youth Day, more than 15,000 Seventh-day Adventists in Chiapas, Mexico, took the streets, parks, and public spaces to clean up and inspire others to join their efforts.
From very early on, many local church youth clubs wore identifiable clothes and swept, cleaned up, and gathered trash.
According to local church leaders, the church's statewide initiative called Clean Your City was created 3 years ago by a youth ministry in Chiapas to motivate both young and old to care for the environment as God's stewards.
President of the Adventist Church in Chiapas, Ignacio Navarro, expressed how pleased he is with the passion and commitment of so many children and young people during the cleanup.
The Clean Your City initiative was organized as part of the National Impact Campaign led by the church in Mexico.
Another missionary campaign called The Final Hope calls for 3 million missionary books titled The Final Hope, authored by Clifford Goldstein, to be distributed.
More than 800,000 young Adventists in Mexico have helped to distribute the books on Global Youth Day.
Coming up, Heroes the Game celebrates 1 year.
But up next, more than 4,200 people joined the Adventist Church after evangelism efforts in Jamaica.
Why is there evil in the world? Are Christians hypocrites? Is the Bible a fairy tale? Does Jesus love everyone? Church doesn't feel relevant to my life. Is God even real? You have questions? Let's talk about it. I Believe Bible.
Welcome back.
After 6 weeks of online spiritual meetings hosted by the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Jamaica, a total of 4,213 persons joined the church through baptism. This happened during the Footprints of Hope online evangelistic series.
Driven by Glenn O. Samuels, the series became a reality thanks to coordinated efforts by the Seventh-day Adventist Church administrative offices of Jamaica, the Caribbean, Atlantic Caribbean, Dutch Caribbean, and Belize.
The online series was the first of 5 planned online regional campaigns across the Inter-America's 24 administrative headquarters.
Thousands of people from across the Caribbean, Central America, North America, Asia, Europe, and other parts of the world watched and listened via several media platforms, including social media, free-to-air television, cable, radio, and hopebeyond.net.
Additional regional online evangelistic campaigns are scheduled to take place in the coming weeks and months from Central America, the Spanish Caribbean, Mexico, and French-speaking territories.
This year, the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Central America and the Caribbean will celebrate 100 years of being established as an organized division territory. To learn more, visit interamerica.org.
Developed by the Global Adventist Church's Communications Department in partnership with Hope Channel, Heroes, the Bible Trivia Game, celebrates its one-year anniversary on March 25th. Since its release, the game has not only improved the biblical knowledge of more than 120,000 people, mostly between 18 and 24 years of old, but it also inspired many to take Bible studies and be baptized. William Tim, coordinator of Heroes Bible Studies in Brazil, says that it is encouraging to witness the enthusiasm for biblical knowledge among young people. Tim said he is glad to see the church using different approaches to specifically attract young people. In its continued effort to improve the app's features and reach, Hope Channel plans to make the game available in Hindi, Chinese, and Tagalog by its upcoming one-year anniversary. They are also scheduled to release a new Bible study series about the three angels' messages. This will be a welcome addition to the existing The Big Questions Bible studies, accessible online or through the app. According to Heroes project manager Jefferson Nascimento, more than 2,300 students are currently taking the Big Questions series of Bible studies in English, Portuguese, Spanish, French, and Romanian. These numbers don't include the studies being taken through Novo Tempo, the Brazilian Hope Channel, bringing the total number of current Hope Channel-inspired Bible study students to almost 3,000.
Well, we have more good news coming from Brazil. Roller Peps, a children's series produced by the streaming platform Felicia de Play of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in South America, recently won an international award. Roller Peps won the Bronze Crown in the Best Children's Production category at the 49th edition of the International Christian Visual Media Crown Awards. The annual award recognizes the best audiovisual content with a Christian theme. On the PEP screen, the characters live through everyday situations that teach lessons in civics, respect, good habits, love for God, and each other. Available in Portuguese, Spanish, English, and in Brazilian Sign Language, the series strives to be inclusive. For example, the protagonists walk on wheels to help children with special needs feel represented. To watch episodes of Roller Peps, access feliciadeplay.com.
The Seventh-day Adventist Church in the Eurasia region has issued a special call to prayer for the conflict in Eastern Europe.
The call reads as follows: Dear brothers and sisters, today we live in a special time when the church, as never before, has united in a humble prayer to the Lord for the restoration of the world, for help, protection, and wisdom from above to continue our service to the world in its current condition.
We understand that our refuge and strength is found only in God. Only in Him is our confidence for the future. Only in Him are all of our hopes connected. We thank you, dear brothers and sisters, for your response to call to fervent prayer and sacrificial service for the disadvantaged and needy refugees and migrants.
Thank God that despite the unprecedented fragmentation of society, despite different views, we continue to maintain the internal unity of the church.
Prayer every evening at 7 p.m. is our humble position before the Lord, and may your hands not weaken in this holy vigil and in works of mercy as we give people all kinds of support. Come, Lord Jesus.
The complete call for prayer is on the website esd.adventist.org.
Coming up, David Trim is here for This Week in Adventist History.
But up next, Adventist Mission shares the story of a young missionary in Laos.
Hi, VL. How are you? Are you okay? Dear VL, I can't even remember how long we've been staying at home now because of this virus. For now, it's just nice to hear your voice and see your face. Nothing beats playing outside in the dirt, though. Which reminds me, are your hands clean? Yes! Mommy and Daddy says not a lot of kids get COVID-19, but it's always nice to be extra safe. We should wash our hands before picking our nose. hands protects us, but it also keeps us from spreading the virus in case we touch something dirty. Let's always be clean and safe, okay? Love, Joey.
We may look, pray, read, think, worship, sing, and share differently, but we all look forward to the Sabbath. And we all look forward to the future when Jesus will come again. With this message in mind, we arrived at a core component for a new identity system, the creation grid, a simple 7-column structure for layout. The grid is a reference both to the prophetic timeline as well as to the creation week that culminated in the seventh-day Sabbath. Regardless of what or where you are designing, you can always find information to help you communicate that we are all Seventh-day Adventists.
Welcome back.
In Laos, the English Language Center gives local students the opportunity to learn English and a chance to learn about Jesus.
In 2018, a portion of the 13th Sabbath offering helped expand the English Language Center, allowing it to help even more students.
Adventist Mission has more.
Nung was determined to learn English. So when an Adventist English Language Center opened in her town in northern Laos, she jumped on the opportunity. She took this very seriously and came up with a goal to learn 100 new vocabulary words per day. Nung didn't have a background in English, but through hard work, she quickly began to understand the language. She faithfully attended classes and practiced with native English speakers until she became fluent. Speaking English made it possible for her to go to an Adventist university in Thailand. She's currently enrolled in Asia Pacific International University's education and psychology programs, and she hopes to use her new skills back home in Laos. The local Adventist English Language Center didn't only offer her the chance to learn English, it also provided a chance to learn about Jesus. Nung and her mother were among the first to join the center's weekly Sabbath worship services. At first, only 7 people gathered in a small home. Today, that number has grown to more than 100 people every week. Like many others, Nung and her mother gave their hearts to Jesus. In 2018, a portion of the 13th Sabbath offering helped expand this English Language Center. It has been a blessing to dozens of students like Nung who have been able to explore new opportunities. Now you have the chance to contribute to another special school in Laos through this quarter's 13th Sabbath offering. Part of Laos has been very difficult for Adventists to reach. In 1957, Pastor Dick Hall and his wife and children came to the city of Luang Namtha to introduce Jesus to the Lao people. He worked for 4 years before they were forced to evacuate due to war. They left behind a handful of new believers who were still young in their faith. Today, there is only one Adventist left in this city. Luang Namtha has become a strategic location as Laos' northern gateway to China. An Adventist presence can help the community grow as the city expands. The Lao Adventist Mission plans to build a bilingual primary school here. With your contribution to the 13th Sabbath offering, they hope a new school can become an integral part of this community. Please support the work in this part of the world by contributing this quarter. Thank you for giving to the 13th Sabbath offering.
Watch this and other mission stories online by visiting adventistmission.org. Then click on videos at the top.
And finally, for today's episode, let's turn to David Trim for a look at Adventist history.
This week, we hear about the life and ministry of Frank F. Oster.
Welcome to This Week in Adventist History. On March 22, 1960, pioneer missionary Frank F. Oster died in California at the age of 80 years old. Frank had been born on July 12, 1881 in Switzerland, but his family emigrated to the United States when he was just 2 years old. Early in his life, Frank felt a call to ministry. After high school, unable to afford college, he took night classes while working as a tailor in Portland, Oregon. But after saving money, in 1907 he entered Walla Walla College. In 1909 and 1910, he studied first at the Foreign Mission Seminary in Washington, D.C., and then at the German Missionary Training College at Friedensau. Frank accepted a call to serve as a missionary in the country then known as Persia, and another young American, Henry Dirksen, was assigned to go with him. On May 18, 1911, Frank and Henry entered northern Persia from Russia, thus inaugurating the Seventh-day Adventist Church's presence in the country of Iran. This also marked the beginning of 32 years of missionary service in the Middle East by Frank Oster. Now, Dirksen found the culture too alien, and within a year, discouraged, he had gone home. But Frank Oster remained, though in 1913 he traveled to England, where he married Florence White. In this photograph, you see Frank and Florence together. They made their home in the northern Iranian city of Tabriz and served together in Iran until 1938. Here you see the Osters with a group of local believers in Tabriz. Frank and Florence had 4 children, 3 of them Iranian-born, 2 of whom died as children. But the Osters' love for the country and people of Iran remained strong and undiminished. For another 5 years, from 1938 to 1943, they served as missionaries in Turkey. After Frank and Florence returned home, Frank worked for 4 years in the Indiana Conference, then retired in 1948. Their son Kenneth followed in his parents' footsteps as a long-term missionary in the Middle East. That was this week in Adventist history.
Thanks for watching ANN. Join us next week for more news from the headquarters of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Did you know the Adventist Church has a YouTube channel where you can watch ANN Video, ANN In Depth, and plenty other amazing videos on prophecy, health, and Bible study?
Just go to YouTube and search for the Adventist Church. Make sure you click the subscribe button to make sure you're caught up each week.
And remember, leave a comment or a prayer request. We have people who are praying for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Before we say goodbye, here's some good news from the book of John, chapter 6, verse 6 and 7.
The passage says, Jesus answered, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you really know me, you will know my Father as well. From now on, you do know him and have seen him.
That's our program for this week. And remember, you can always visit Adventist.news for daily news and videos. Until next time, God bless.
Take care.